Hey guys, Kit here of Burn 1 with our first Shadowverse Evolve video on our Shadowverse Evolve channel that we're sprouting out from our main channel here. I'm joined with the usual suspects, Dean and Ellis. You want to say hi?
Yo.
What's going on, guys? It's finally time.
Yeah, it finally is. Since this is a new channel, and I'm sure we're going to get new people who aren't familiar with us that are outside of the Weiss community. We'll just do a little quick introduction for each of us and our backgrounds in TCGs, so you know like where we're coming from. I'll go ahead and start it off. My name's Kit. The main game I actually ended up playing competitively throughout the years is Weiss Schwartz, which is another anime card game that's run by Bushiroad. That's also the game I had the most success in, but it's also the game I put most time in. Multiple top eights and wins for regionals and team events. Part of the Team Burn one, I guess. And we've been putting out content for Weiss for quite a while now, and we're dipping our toes into Shadowverse Evolve because we love the digital card game. Dean more than anyone loves the digital card game. Um,
True.
yeah, but after playing the physical cards, the game was a lot of fun, so we're trying to get into it now. All right.
Okay. Dean with Burn One. My TCG history started in 2012. I played Yu-Gi-Oh for about 4 years before moving on to Weiss, where I've been playing. Been playing on and off since 2012, to be honest. But like, I really got into it around 2016. And yeah, we have taken multiple top eights in teams, and of course, one actual top three in singles as well. So that's been really fun. And I have over 3,100 hours in Shadowverse over the last 6 years. So, this has been my game on the side, and I've been playing it pretty religiously. Uh, GM for the last 3 years, every single format. So, definitely looking forward to, bringing that over to the physical.
Awesome.
And yeah, so Ellis, what's your TCG history?
I was primarily a Magic player. When it comes to my competitive card game background, I have multiple top eights in Magic events, between regionals and national level events. I have been playing competitive card games for probably 15, almost 17 years now. And I guess White Schwartz, I have a few team top eight events, and I have some top 15 finishes from there in singles. So
Yeah,
yeah,
out of all of us, Ellis is the most unlucky. He's been when it comes to
yeah,
Wise. That's a
It's
whole
just
nother story. But if
yeah,
you're familiar, there was a lot of scandals going on, and he was part of
yep,
them, unfortunately, without knowing.
it
hmm
happens, but
yeah.
But yeah, all right.
I feel you.
Yeah. So our first thing we're going to start off with is obviously the starter deck. So new players getting into the game can see what the cards are, and if they're interested in the starter deck, if they're not planning to buy it all, I'll go ahead and give the floor to Dean so he can talk about what the general first starter deck is.
okay, so yeah, these are the structure decks or starter decks, right? So the thing about these is, if you see those little check marks next to cards, those are exclusive to the starter decks. That's the real reason you're going to be buying these. And there are cards you will actually be using in the meta. These are good cards that are the exclusives. And you're getting playsets of them. So you only need one of each starter deck.
Mm.
And these are like pretty low level by themselves because there's usually not a lot of search. There's not a lot of actual like hand value cards, right? They're just like beaters and stuff. This is Forest, if you know what Forest is. It's kind of like combo and magic, I imagine.
Yeah, it's probably close to. It's a combo deck in
Yeah.
Magic. Yeah.
So the idea of Forest is that you get a bunch of like low cost tokens and that you just kind of like swarm the board with them. But then your other mechanic is for like the number of cards you play. So you have a card like we're going to be talking about that's like combo three. It means if you've played three cards this turn, either from hand or from like this thing called the EX area we're going to be going over. It's like your token hand. You get like an additional effect. So yeah, the idea is to be able to play 2 to 3 cards in a single turn, and then get additional effects with your low cost cards, and hopefully be able to outvalue your opponent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a mix of combo white weenie deck going on essentially.
And
Um,
then
Definitely,
correct me if I'm wrong here, but it looks like the only cards you get playsets of are the cards that are exclusive to the trial
definitely,
decks.
yeah. Because these other cards, the cards that don't have the check marks, you're going to be able to pull those in the booster. And another thing is your the leader card, which I don't actually think it's just like a thing that signifies what class you're playing.
Mhm.
You get that in the deck as well, which is actually pretty important because I think you have to have that. Maybe you could just bring a picture of a leaf. I don't know.
Picture of a leaf.
And then there's leaders in the boosters as well, right?
Yeah, but they're like SPs and Ys. There's like 2 leaders in a case.
Oh, okay, yeah. So they're
Yeah.
just like high value for like the players that want max rarity everything, right?
Yeah,
All
they're
right.
insanely like yeah. It's like you're paying extra premium, but they're cool. They're cool.
Yeah. It's one thing card gamers love their shiny cardboard. All right. So let's go ahead and hop into the deck itself here. So first here's obviously picture the leader here, the card that comes with it. I actually didn't buy this set in Japanese, but I think you did, Dean, right? Does this come foil or is it just like a plain card? Out of
It's just
curiosity.
plain, but no, but it's a token. It's like the super thick tokens.
Oh yeah, so in this game, the well, hopefully it transitions the same way in English. Yeah, any card that's like a token card or a card you just have it on the board that's not going to be part of your deck is usually infinitely thicker. If you're familiar with Gigant rares from Weiss Shorts, where it's like I don't know how to describe it, it's like 10 cards on top of each other, right, or something ridiculous.
It's like 3 or 4 cards thick. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah.
probably of like if you're a Magic player, 5 Magic cards. Yu-Gi-Oh players probably has the thickness of like your legendary duelist packs, like 5 or 7 cards, something like that.
It's pretty insane. It's pretty
Yeah,
insane.
Yeah, you can definitely hurt someone with those cards. All right,
don't throw that.
we'll get in the first card here. First one is Arya Fairy Princess here. It's a 6 cost 5/5 stat line. It has ward, which is um
Taunt.
yeah, it's basically taunt. Your opponent has to kill this card to be able to attack you directly, right?
Yeah,
Um,
but they have to if the card is tapped. So the way that ward works is if your card is tapped, it's active, and if it's not, it's not.
yeah.
And cards with ward can tap themselves at the end of turn.
Yep.
All right, so it has ward. And then as long as this is in the field, all your other fairy followers have rush, and rush is the ability to attack other what is it,
Creatures.
followers, right? I
Yeah,
guess it's
Yeah.
all followers
followers.
in
Yeah.
this game. But you can't attack your opponent directly. What's the direct?
Storm.
Storm is
Storm.
Storm is the other one. And then it has fanfare, which is when the card comes into play. From among 9 fairy, you may put any number of them into the field and the rest into your EX area.
So, yeah, the idea of this card is you have literally no cards in board, and this card just summons 9 cards. Like it summons 4 cards to the field, and then 5 cards to your EX area, which is like a token hand
And
that you
then
can play from.
the EX area is capped at 5, right? If I remember correctly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the idea is it fills both zones.
Did we go over the actual game's
We'll go
field
over
being
that.
capped at 5?
We'll have that.
Okay.
We'll have that later.
Well,
But yeah,
it just points out why it's 9. Why 9
yeah,
is the number.
because the idea is that you have 5 like creature zones, and then you have 5 EX area zones. So, and then the cards it summons, of course, are fairies, which are fairy followers. So then you're able to instantly clear board while also leaving up a big threat.
Yep. And then all fairies are 1/1s, right? I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're 1/1s. There's a lot of support for them though.
All right.
We'll see that.
In a vacuum wise, card seems pretty decent. I don't know how much it saw during the early meta. You guys know?
This is Forest best card in the beginning of the game.
With as far as booster pack 1 goes, right?
Yeah, this card it sets up for your turn 8 play from the booster, and it is just like an all around amazing tempo card because of the amount of like damage you can put on board,
Yep.
how wide your board gets. It's just all around super solid.
Did you say this is the reason you would be wanting to pick up Forestcraft, the starter deck that is?
Yeah, this is like one of your big payoffs.
Yeah.
And this is a card you're going to need, and you just get it with the booster. You get it with this trial deck, so like why not? Or starter deck.
Yeah. All right. I guess we won't really rate any cards here. We'll just kind of go over and talk about their utility, right? I think that sounds good, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
We'll jump into the next card here.
This is Titania Sanctuary. As long as it's on the board, all of your fairy tokens have direct attack, which is the ability to trade with untapped creatures. Because kind of like Magic, I think it's Magic that you can only attack tapped creatures.
No, Magic, you attack the
Oh.
player, and then they can choose blocks.
Oh, that's
block
true.
phase. Yeah.
Yeah. So the weird thing is like if a card's not tapped in this game, you can't attack it normally.
Right.
But direct attack allows you to get there. So like now you're actually able to like clear the board with these little tokens you summon, right? And then it has the effect that whenever a fairy enters the field, it gets +1/+1. And on play, so that way, it buffs the cards that come in after you play it, but also when you play the amulet, all of your fairy tokens get +1/+1. So the idea is that instead of having one ones, you now have two twos that can also trade with your opponent's untapped cards, making the fairy princess a lot better, actually.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
and then just so people know, amulets take up a spot on the board though, right? Of your five
Yep, they
slots
do.
available. Yeah.
Yes.
So every time you
So yeah,
play an amulet, it does you gotta realize it's a resource you gotta handle too as well.
Mhm.
yeah, you can't like be putting three of this on the board, so that is like the little awkward part, right? Like it gets kind of awkward with the board spaces, but this is a very powerful card, especially with like being able to buff those fairies up.
Mhm.
Yep. And then I guess the best way to describe it too for like magic players is that this is kind of like an enchantment or an aura, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, or an artifact, but
Oh
yeah.
yeah, or an artifact, yeah. All right, next card here.
this one should be you.
So this is Rose Gardener. It is a 3/3 for 3. Um, it has the plant folk trait. I guess that's not really relevant.
No, it's kind of off trait.
Yeah, but it just has pay 1 to evolve. Have we explained how evolve works at all?
I guess we could do that real quick. Yeah,
Yeah.
so in this game, you have a 10 card evolve deck,
Mhm.
and you're able to, up to once per turn,
Yep.
evolve a card if it says evolve.
Yep.
And then you have to have a copy of the evolve card in your evolve deck,
Yep.
and then you just put it on top. You kind of like XZ if you've ever played Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah. And it's kind of like an extra deck in Yu-Gi-Oh as well. The
Yeah.
evolve deck is.
All right.
So yeah, it has pay 1 evolve, and then when it evolves, we'll see it here. Uh, so it gets an effect on evolve. It gets better stats typically. It's not always the case with evolves. Am I going over the evolve
Yeah, you
for
can
this as
go
well?
ahead and go over the vault form as
Sure.
well.
So when you evolve into this card, you choose an enemy follower and put it back in their hand. So it's an unsummon for magic. It has combo 3, so if you've played 3 cards this turn, you also get to draw a card. And then it has a little note there that tokens returned to the hand are just removed from the game. The same is true for Magic. I think the same is true for Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and then it gets a stat boost up to 4/4.
This card's
Card.
definitely a good aggro card.
Yep.
Yep, it sets your opponent behind, and if you do combo that turn, you get a replenish your hand, which is pretty nice.
Something else to note: when a follower gets evolved into, it can attack followers that turn. It
Yeah, they
basically
they
has
have they have
rush.
rush
Yeah.
inherently. Yeah.
And then I know we talked about the evolve deck, but there's a limit on how many evolves you have in a game, correct? Because of your evolve
Uh,
deck, or in general.
it's as long as you have the corresponding card face down in your evolve deck, you're able to.
Yep. And then when it dies, so if this card were to be bounced or um, destroyed or exiled or anything, the evolve form of this card will always go face up in the evolve deck,
Yeah.
unless otherwise stated. I don't know if there's anything that interacts with the
No,
evolve deck like that.
there's a couple things that let you like reset the evolve deck
Yeah.
later on, but yeah, the idea is that that's like your use of the card.
Right.
All right, awesome. Next card here we have Waltzing Fairy, which is a 3 cost 3/3. It has fanfare and last word. Fanfare, obviously, when it comes to play, and last word is when it dies, correct?
Yes.
And then so it's put a fairy into your EX area. So by playing this, you basically get 2 fairy tokens, essentially. When something gets removed from play in this game, I forget, does that also trigger the last word or no?
No, last words is only if it goes to grave. It does not
Mhm.
trigger on banish or bounce.
Yep.
All right. Yep.
I
I
think it's
am.
like,
Go ahead.
oh no, you're you first.
Oh, I'm unsure of how like solid this card is. It just seems like a good token generation, but I'm not sure. There's probably much better ones available, right?
Yeah, I mean it's like a double token on a body. I don't remember too much about the early meta with Forest. This might have saw play, but I don't remember if it did.
I think this did see a little bit of play in early Forest, just because it gives you 2 extra bodies on a 3/3 for 3.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
All right. On to the next card here.
Okay, this is the Fairy Caster 4-drop 3/3, so we're paying an extra mana for that. But on play, we get to put 3 fairies onto the field. But if our field gets full, we put the rest into the EX area. So I know this guy saw play because you're right. It's
Hmm.
like, think about this. You play down 4. Let's say you have that token from earlier. That is a lot of stats. That
Yeah.
is a 6/6. This is effectively a 6/6 for 4. But if you have the amulet down, let's add an extra 3, and it's a 9/9 for 4.
Yep.
Yep, seems super solid. Next card here.
So this is a 3/2 for 2. It is Elf Metallurgist. It has fanfare, so when it comes into play, you choose an enemy follower and deal 1 damage to it. And then it has combo 3. So if you played 3 cards this turn, and that does include itself, it deals 3 damage instead.
Did this
So
see
yeah,
play? This seemed pretty solid, right?
this card's great. It's
Yeah.
a body for 2 that has removal. So those cards that generate fairy tokens, like the 3/3 for 3 is an example. If you have those 2 tokens in your EX area on turn 4, you've got token 1, token 2, and then this card, it kills something with 3 health or less and is a body. So
Yeah, definitely not a bad option.
I think this card's still played even after set 2 is released, isn't
I
it?
do not remember.
I don't know either. I feel like it is,
I
but
feel like you would not feel bad putting this in a deck, I
right.
don't think.
Yeah.
Yep. Now you have the next card here, Okami. It's a 4 cost 5/5 beast trait follower. Whenever another follower enters your field, this gets +1/+1. So this triggers off of tokens generated as well, right? Because they're considered followers. So
Yeah, that 4 drop from earlier gives this +4/+4.
Right.
This is the strongest card in the TD meta.
Yes.
yeah, it's just a card that like if it sticks to the board and it starts getting out of control, you can snowball to a victory, right?
This card gets really gross if you let it live a turn. It demands a removal spell immediately.
Yep.
I think what is this? This is probably the biggest payout, one of the biggest payoff cards in the trial deck for Forest or starter deck.
Uh, yeah, this is like this isn't a trial deck exclusive, I don't think. I think this is in the booster.
Oh yeah. But I mean, just like in general, if you're only playing with trial decks, right? Like you
Yeah, if
said.
you're only playing with trial decks, this is the really funny card that would just run somebody over out of nowhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Next card.
Was this me?
No, this one's me. This one's
Okay.
the Trent. Oh no, this guy's a little rough.
It's a
He
tree ant. Sorry.
is it?
Yeah, it's tree ant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's a 3-drop 3/3, and he has Evolve for 2. Evolve this follower, but he also has Fanfare if he's the third card that's played. He gets to evolve for 0. So, yeah, and then when he evolves, yeah, there we go. He's a 5/5 vanilla.
Very,
So,
very powerful.
yeah, this is the powerful. This is just a funny card. It's not very good, but the idea is you get a 5/5 for a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
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 Okay card in the starter deck. Beyond that, you'll probably never see play of it, right?
Right.
Because you
Yeah,
also end up wasting spots in your evolve deck, which becomes very important later on.
yeah,
Hey, I want to double check real quick. The starter deck is releasing alongside
yeah.
main set 1. Okay.
But for like when you're learning the
Right.
game,
I
there's gonna be
I didn't know
people
if it was like other games. Some games will release their starter decks, then like a week or 2 later release their sets. But
June 30th for everything.
all right, awesome.
Ooh, you get the good card.
Ooh, so this is the Water Fairy. This is a 1/1 for 1 that has Evolve 2 to evolve. It has Last Word, so when it dies, put a fairy in your EX area. And then go on to the Evolve. So on Evolve, it's a 2/2 for the Evolve cost. And when it evolves, it puts a fairy into play, and it still has that line of text that says, when it dies, put a fairy into EX. So this card is great. It's probably a staple in every forest list that I can think of right now.
It's I don't know about like as the game progresses, but in the first set,
Right.
this is a good
Yeah.
one drop.
Yeah, it's a 1 drop that replaces itself when it dies. It's if you've played Magic, it is Doom Traveler. He's a 1/1 that makes a 1/1 when he dies.
You also get that 1/1 on the board on the evolve. So the idea
Right.
is that you put him down 1,
right.
and then on turn 2, you just draw, evolve it, boom, hit for 2, get
Yep.
the fairy, and then have the extra fairy come in the next turn.
Yep.
So this card's actually really good, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Solid. All right, we have Elf Wanderer here. It's a 2-cost 2/3 follower. Elf trait has direct attack, follows with direct attack and attack enemy followers in the stand state, and this may ignore ward when attacking. So it can ignore basically all the taunts and just go directly to whatever it wants to attack. Correct?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
was the one that
Oh, this
caused.
is the card. Yeah.
Yeah, this caused confusion when the game was like first getting released because people thought direct attack ignored ward.
Yeah, and those are actually two separate lines. Direct attack does not ignore ward.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a separate effect.
but you know what's about this card?
What?
It doesn't have rush.
Nope. And no, it doesn't. It likely will die before it sees an attack.
True.
You put it down and you say, "Man, I'm gonna be able to weave between those cards," and they just say, "No, it's dead." Okay.
Yep.
All right, next card.
We're on Fairy Circle. This is the good token generator. This is 1 mana, put 3 fairies into your EX area.
Yep.
And then this is our first spell we've seen, correct?
Yes.
Yep. So we have
Spells.
spells like in Magic and like I guess they're considered like events in Weiss. They just
Yep.
cards that have an effect and then go away. Do not generate it. Usually, do not stick on board. All right. Next card here.
Ellis.
Yeah. So this is a another spell or
Amulet.
Yeah, this is an amulet. Sorry. So it is a 1-drop that says choose one of your fairy followers and give it +1/+0. That +1/+0.
Plus
So
1/+1. Or is it plus
no,
0?
it's +1/+0.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that +1/+0 in Shadowverse, unlike with most games, that is a permanent +1/+0. Unlike Magic, where it's like till end of turn, this stays with it as long as it's got it. So you can also activate this, which means to tap it and pay another 1 to put this card back in your hand. So this card's not great.
No.
Like,
It's kind of funny because it allows you, as long as you have like 3, every 2 mana you have extra turns into an extra combo.
right, exactly.
the
Yeah.
idea.
Like if you're low on hand and you've got this card and you need to fuel a combo 3, you could play it, bounce it, play it, and get your combo 3
While pushing damage.
while pushing damage. But it's not great. Do you have to have a fairy in play to play this
No.
card? Okay. So it kind of has some tricks, but it's not a good card.
Yeah, it's very cute, but probably won't see a lot
Right.
of play, right?
Yes.
Oh shoot! Did I just zoom all the way to the end here by accident? Oh, oh shoot! Hold on, let me see.
What
if
have
I
you
can
done?
fix this. It keeps skipping the other spell. I love it.
What's the other spell?
It's Sylvan Justice. It's a Forestcraft spell. 2 cost. It has quick, which is basically instant speed for this game. Correct?
Yes. So
Yes.
quick is you're able to activate it when an opponent's creature attacks, or at the end of your opponent's turn.
Yep. And you could also play it regularly, like on your own turn and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
So you get 3 different windows.
All right. And then it's choose an enemy follower, deal 3 damage to it, and then put a fairy into your EX area. It's basically kind of like the lightning bolt for Elf, right? Or sorry, Forestcraft.
Yep.
Solid spell all around. I assume it sees play. I didn't play enough early on to know exactly.
No, it's good. It's
Yeah.
because it's removal on your opponent's turn, right? So it's like if they're coming in with something, you got 2 mana, boom, you're able to kill some garbage cards that they might be trying to hit you with, while also getting a fairy for the next turn to fuel combo.
All right, next card here.
Insane. Goblin. 1-drop. 2/2. Evolve for 4 mana.
Yeah.
And then when he evolves, when the goblin grows up.
All right, I can't. Okay, I made a mistake. I need to fix this for the next video. I can't actually show the rest cards because how I have it set up.
Don't worry. I know the goblins evolved. It's a 4/4 vanilla.
Wait, real quick, are you scrolling
Yeah.
on a mouse? Try your arrow keys.
Whoops. No. It's just I'd have to redo this thing.
Oh, got it.
His setup is funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so don't worry. I know the goblin. It's a 4/4 vanilla for 5.
Broken.
It's very not good. This is the pack filler.
This card is Elite Vanguard, but Elite Vanguard in this game is bad.
Wait, no, this is broken in set 1. Aggro.
I guess
But
it's
is it?
fair. Like, do you play the evolved form? I don't think
Mm,
you play the evolved form. You just play the regular
It's just a
no,
goblin.
good. It's just a good one cost, right?
Yeah, this card's
Yeah.
basically Elite
Well,
Vanguard
in
from
the
Magic.
beginning, you don't have like a lot of cards, so like
Yeah.
sometimes people are just like this 2/2. You just push damage.
Right.
Vanilla sounds good to me. Throw it in. All right. I guess I'll do the last card here. The last card is Angelic Snipe. It's a neutral spell. Uh, Trait Angel. It's quick. It has quick, so the instant speed, and then choose an enemy follower, deal 2 damage to it. 1 cost. Probably solid spell all around, right?
Definitely.
Yeah,
And
it's basically also. You said it's quick.
Yeah, it is quick.
yeah,
It
it's
is
quick.
quick,
Yeah.
so it's
Good.
just a neutral lightning bolt.
Yep. And then the next spell is another 1-drop. Has it's called Angelic Barrage. It's quick as well as deal 1 damage to all enemy followers.
Extremely good card.
Yeah, I love this card. It was really funny. We were talking about it when Set 2 came out, right? And I was like, this card should probably see play, and it does now.
Joke Barrage doesn't.
Oh no, wait, this is the wrong card. Never mind.
Yeah.
This card is just deal 1. Yeah, no, it's still a good card.
The one is nice though, especially like if you're like playing like the Forest Mirror, right?
Right.
Those fairies only have 1 health.
Right. Yeah, Pyroclasm
Yep.
in Magic.
And then the last card in the set is the Fairy Token, which is the 1/1 Fairy Token. Um, yeah, that's it. That concludes the Forestcraft starter. Is there anything you want to say about the deck before we close out this video? And I fix it later.
No, but I think this one is definitely. I think all of the starter decks are going to be good for new players to pick up.
Yep.
Just because they teach you a little bit. They teach you about the game while also giving you a couple cards that are good. I wouldn't say this is the best one, but it definitely has some absolute bangers with the
Right.
Titania's Sanctuary and
Yep.
the Fairy Princess.
That's probably number 2 on the starter decks.
like number 4.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's still good. If you like Forestcraft, buy this deck.
Yeah, honestly, it's if you're interested in the game at all, just buy any starter deck at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, but before we close this out, I forgot to mention this in the beginning. Thanks to the Shadowverse Evolve Discord community. These translations and everything and these pictures were organized by them in a Google Doc. So it has a list of all the cards and their translations, all that. And that is what we're using here for the video.
Oh yeah. Those guys were MVPs. I think they help, show that there is interest out there in the West for this game. So,
Right.
Yep.
give credit where credit's due.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video. I think the next one is Swordcraft, and so those who love Swordcraft will see you there later.